Ladies and gentlemen, the Delaware College of Art and Design 2022 commencement ceremony has officially opened and the academic procession is about to begin. Please stand and remain standing throughout the entire processional. As a courtesy to our graduates and guests, please turn off any cell phones or electronic devices until after the ceremony has concluded.
Graduates, family and friends, welcome to the Delaware College of Art and Design's 24th commencement exercises, both here and on our live streaming event. The class of 2022 is like no other graduating class in the history of the college. Your first year here was mostly remote. You had to learn how to make friends through a screen, how to connect with your professors in new ways, and how to feel part of a community while not actually in a classroom. Today is a day for reflection, and for joy, and for gratitude. Focus on the positive things, the friends you've made, the skills you've learned, and the relationships you've forged. The challenges you faced were daunting. You had to believe in yourself when you felt like giving up. You had to get up when you felt like staying in bed. You learned the meaning of determination, resilience, and resourcefulness. Remember what you have accomplished this year, and don't listen to anyone who would discourage you. Hold tight to your vision for your future, and know how very proud we are of all of you. You did it. You are here, and you are about to receive the printed record of your accomplishments, your DCAD diploma. This degree symbolizes your academic accomplishments and is a manifestation of your dreams and aspirations. The diploma you will receive here today will help take you where you want to go next and is a recognition of the level of achievement you have attained. As we begin our ceremony today, it is my great honor to introduce Michelle Harley, council member from Wilmington's 4th District, who will give our opening remarks. Councilmember Harley is a lifelong resident of the city of Wilmington, attending Wilmington High School before earning her bachelor's degree at Springfield College and her master's degree at Chesapeake College. Ms. Harley has worked at the DuPont Company for over 25 years. As 4th District Council member, Ms. Harley is committed to voicing the concerns of her constituents, ensuring a safe and thriving business district, and attracting business and tourism to our area. DCAD is grateful for her work in our district and on behalf of the college, and especially for our students. Please welcome Michelle Harley.
Welcome and good afternoon, class of 2022. Congratulations, you did it. As the 4th District Council member of Wilmington City Council, it is an honor to be speaking to you today, and I'm so thrilled and grateful to be celebrating with you. During a global health pandemic, you've navigated through so many journeys to finish your degree with dedication and creativity, 2 of DCAD's core values. Take a moment to remember the decisions you made that brought you to today and reflect on how much you have changed in the past few years. This chapter is now finishing and a new one is beginning. As you bravely step into the next chapter of your life, for some, the unknown, embark on building an art world that aligns with your passions. Show your own generation that there's more power in building something innovative than trying to fit in a scene that is already established. It's now time to begin the work that will define you as an artist, animator, graphic designer, illustrator, and photographer. Never forget that your work has value even when it's often seen and maybe not even liked. What you signed up for is so much bigger than a paid career. Wilmington is truly one of the best places for creativity. If there's one thing I can leave with you, it will be a dream for you to dream of your first story. Take a walk in downtown Wilmington, and you'll see the dreams of so many people like you that came to life. Like the Soul Firm, which was founded by Nataki Oliver to exhibit modern and contemporary emerging artists, and King Creative, which was founded by 2 local photographers, Christopher Bruce and Dan Pierce, to provide video film and audio services to local businesses throughout Delaware. Downtown Wilmington's Creative District continues to support and grow our creative community. To the class of 2022, in the midst of measuring your success and failures, I wish you glorious joy and meaning as you take great risks to create art that the world can see through your eyes. I am very, very proud of you today. And may you walk with courage in the journey ahead. And again, congratulations.
Thank you, Michelle, for those inspiring words. I now call forward Ron Brignac, Photography Program Chair, who will introduce the student representative.
I would now like to invite Nancy Horace Schur to the podium. photography major, Nancy was selected by the faculty to represent the class of 2022. It's my honor to welcome Ms. Nancy Horace Scher to the podium. I also have a few words I just wanted to say. So, I was asked if I had a prepared remark to introduce Nancy. Of course, I didn't. I think that's a recent addition to this program, and I guess I just didn't realize I had to do that, and or was supposed to do that. I'm also very uncomfortable with standing in the spotlight at a formal ceremony, speaking in a microphone in front of a large group of people. Maybe some of you understand that feeling. So when given the opportunity to opt out, I was tempted. But then I thought, what would I tell my students to do? And in fact, Nancy wasn't sure she wanted to be up here speaking either, but I told her she should. As I thought about it more, I thought it was important for me to share a little bit about Nancy and my appreciation of her efforts and contributions that she made to my classes and others while at DCAD. When I first met Nancy, she was applying for DCAD in the admissions department and asked me to come meet her. She seemed very nice, a little nervous. Her portfolio was small, but it had some nice work. She seemed surprised when I said her portfolio looked really good and that we should accept her. Over time, as classes move forward, we learn more about our students and get a little bit better acquainted with the picture of their larger world. I learned that Nancy has a degree in English from the University of Delaware. She's worked in marketing and graphic design. She has a family, including her husband and a son in high school, and an unspecified number of furry animals that run around and expect her care. I think that number might be double digits by now, or close. She volunteers at animal shelters, has served on a board for at least one of them. She's an active parent in supporting her son's high school. Excuse me. And I believe she likes to bake. And in the wintertime, she even plows her driveway in a Jeep with a blade on the front of it. Oh, and she also attends DCAD full-time and is taking 5 classes a semester. And while doing that, maintained a 4.0. Nancy was a leader in my classes through both the example of her work and her character. Her work was always thoughtful and with purpose. She would seek out images and be willing to make the effort required to make those images happen. On more than one occasion, she came to class with a story of having to stop the car or turn around and go make that picture that she really wanted to make. This isn't always an easy thing to do, especially when you have others in the car. And if you don't believe me, try doing it today on the way home. See how that goes. Nancy was also willing to spend the extra time helping and working with her fellow students, not only in my class, but in others. She was an active participant with other students in outside of class projects. Sometimes I would see them or hear them with a lot of laughing and screaming down the hall at the other end of the building. She integrated with different groups very well. And she was one of the most active participants in a volunteer opportunity through DCAD's photo program, where students make photographs of rescued animals to help them get adopted through the Delaware Humane Association and the Brandywine SPCA. Her knowledge and insight was very helpful as I tried to get that opportunity off the ground. Nancy's work has always had intent, and she was willing and able to share her thoughts. Again, this isn't always easy and obvious, but her ongoing project is looking at America, and I quote a recent section from her recent book portfolio she made in her last class. America 2022 is a continuation of a series of photographs that I'm making in a long-term project to capture the American spirit as I see it unfolding right now in this decade. Yeah, wow, that's pretty ambitious. But I think we're looking at a very special person. And someone with tremendous ambition and ability to make things happen. Just the other night, at the graduate show opening, Nancy mentioned she'd reached out to the John Fetterman campaign, and she'll be making photographs there and continuing her project and watching as that unfolds. Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And classes weren't even over yet, and she's out there making this happen. So, without going too much further, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Nancy for being the special person that she is, and for the inspiration, humor, and insight she's brought to our classes and to DCAD's class of 2022. Please give a warm welcome to Nancy, who I'm sure the Delaware College of Art and Design class of 2022 student speaker.
Good afternoon and welcome family, friends, and graduates of DCAD class of 2022. I'd like to express my appreciation to the DCAD Board of Trustees led by Board Chair Tom Schopa, to DCAD President Jean Dahlgren, to Dean Katie Rowe, and to my photography advisor Ron Brignac, who welcomed me to DCAD 2 years ago. You might notice that I don't look like most other students. I don't have tattoos or body piercings. All kidding aside, I was a little self-conscious at first about beginning college again at my age. But if my grandmother Mary, a first-generation American, daughter of immigrant parents, could get her high school diploma in her 50s, then I could pursue my dream in my 50s. She was about to turn 102 when she passed away just a few months before my first semester here began. I'm proud of what she accomplished, and I think this moment would have made her feel proud too. We all began this 2-year program together at the height of a COVID shutdown, making art together on Zoom. For a full academic year, we got to know each other solely through a computer screen, not actually meeting for classes until last August. And now we can see your faces. It feels like the clouds are lifting. I studied photography at DCAD. I have 4 amazing second-year photography peers: Nani, Shayla, Shauna, and Ray. We've gotten to know each other a little bit better in person this past year. While we all have different artistic styles and interests, it has been really cool to play off each other's energy, to experiment with different techniques and learn from each other. Remember how intimidating it was to first switch our cameras out into manual mode and let go of those automatic settings? Or for everyone, how it felt to open up that first-year art kit and see everything inside it? For me, it was like Christmas Day. I was so excited. And then I was like, oh wow, what do I do with that Conti crayon or that colored paper kit and a few other things in it that I had never used before? I was a little afraid that I was supposed to already know how to use everything inside it and that I was going to make a huge fool out of myself. I mean, for crying out loud, what's the difference between charcoal pencil, and charcoal sticks? Well, now I know. Thank you, Rachel Bomsey. We have all learned how to see the world in different dimensions and translate it onto paper, on a computer screen, or through raw materials. Seeing the world, all its colors, its interesting little details, and how things are connected in it is a real blessing and all we really need for inspiration. One of my passions has been helping homeless cats, whether they're in a shelter or living in a colony along railroad tracks. There is nothing like having a frightened little animal trust you enough to look directly into your lens to get that eye contact that is both wary and curious. When I review those images, I just see the soul of this little creature that could be living a much less challenging life, if only. And it's that connection that feeds my soul. Getting into photography was a natural progression for me. I have been an artist since I was a child. It just took me half my life to realize it. My mom, who is here today, recognized that in me. She signed me up for art classes, and when we walked into the building, a dance instructor tried to woo me to take ballet lessons instead. But I said, no, I'm here to paint. My dad was a pretty serious photography hobbyist when I was growing up. He built a dark room in our basement to make his own prints. It was kind of magical seeing an image appear on paper submerged in liquid in a tray. While other kids were watching cartoons, I modeled for him with a grayscale card, staring into the sun until tears from squinting stung the corners of my eyes. Today, my son Cameron sometimes graciously serves as my model. You helped me get an A, kiddo. I am grateful to every single one of the teachers I have had at DCAD. It's too late for me to brown nose, so you know this comes from my heart. You coaxed out the artist in me, and you are an everlasting part of my journey through life. Ron Grignag, you have been an amazing guide. Casey Smith, you are such a positive force. You both helped unite the writer and the photographer in me. Artists are such weirdos, aren't we? We see things that others don't. We try things that others won't, just because. It's how we express how we experience the world. I recall one conversation in a Zoom breakout room during first year, possibly first semester, with a fellow student. They seemed kind of sad telling a story about how they didn't quite fit in high school. And I just thought, wow, this kid thinks they're an anomaly, like they're abnormal or something. I mean, how many of you felt that way at one time or another? The only words I could find fitting to say were, hey, now you have all these new friends in art school. And as I said that, I realized how much I fit in here. At DCAD, we are all speaking the same kind of language, so the interactions we've had elevate us as artists. The in-class critiques, sharing ideas, and just hearing, hey, you've got this. These things have been so valuable to our personal and professional growth. You are different, and not everyone will get you. You will learn to navigate life oscillating between those who speak art and those who don't. Have patience. And if you are ever working with a client, here's my practical advice. Learn to speak and seek out those conversations and share ideas with fellow artists. Believe me, they will get where you're coming from. Art collaboration and friendships will serve you so well. Congratulations, my friends. And now Jean Dahlgren. Thank you, Nancy. That was an incredible and very fitting speech. It is now my great pleasure to welcome today's keynote speaker, Tina Betts. She received her BA in Liberal Studies from Boston University. She is a performing artist and arts supporter who, for more than 30 years, has championed the arts as a stabilizing influence in the transformation of individuals and places. Tina is currently Director of Cultural Affairs for the City of Wilmington's Mayor's Office. Her responsibilities include managing the city's Percent for Art program, public art commissioning, and coordination of the city's community-wide events. Tina has had the opportunity to work as Cultural Affairs Director for 3 different mayoral administrations. Among the many acknowledgments for her work as an artist and arts advocate, Tina has received the YMCA's Black Achievers Award, Christina Cultural Arts Center Christie Award for Outstanding Achievement by an Artist, Girl Inc.'s Strong, Smart, and Bold Award, and Cab Calloway School of the Arts Art Smarts Award for commitment to the arts in the community. Tina studied acting, voice, and musical theater at New York's famed HB Studios. She currently serves on the boards of the Delaware Theater Company, Delaware Futures, and the Music School of Delaware. She served as a gubernatorial appointee to the Delaware State Arts Council for many years. And that's an abbreviated bio, by the way. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Tina Betts.
Thank you, President Dahlgren. One of the things we learn in theater is that you do not want to follow an opening act that's an animal or a child. I'm going to add, do not follow Nancy Horace. She is amazing. I don't know how you find time to do everything that you do, but if you can bottle that and sell it, I suggest that you do. It's wonderful. This is a special day, and I kept trying to come up with another word for special, and I couldn't, because special is just special, and that's what today is. And it is indeed an honor to be here to share this day with you. This is a unique celebration, because in addition to celebrating your graduation, we are also celebrating DCAD's quarter century of existence. 25 years of being down here in downtown Wilmington, taking over this building that sat vacant for many, many years, and now it is just alive with folks like you. So congratulations, Delaware College of Art and Design. And, congratulations, graduates. I know that you have heard this before. You heard it a little bit earlier today. This work has been demanding, and it's been demanding for so many different reasons. Each of you, however, come to the table with something very, very special. There's that word again, special. You come to the table with talent. Now, everybody has some talent. They really do. But because you were able to do all of the things that you've done at the College of Art and Design, you fit into a group that's very, very different than just your regular run-of-the-mill, I can draw a tree, that's me, type of person. Now, you've not only met the challenges of the rigorous study at the Delaware College of Art and Design, you've had to take that journey through a time that is unprecedented. And again, you're going to hear that over and over again, but I have to tell you, it is worth hearing over and over again. The pandemic that gripped the world, that took the world by surprise, is something that stopped a lot of people in their track. But you were able to overcome those challenges. And so as many times as you hear about what you've done over the past couple of years, what you've had to go through to get where you are today, it is worth repeating. Now, also congratulations to the Delaware College of Art and Design faculty. Your commitment to today's graduate means so much, not to just the young people who are sitting here with us today, but also to the people who have come before them. Now, graduates, I'm going to ask you to do something. This is interactive here, okay? So I'm going to ask you to stand up, please. And I want you to look around you and acknowledge your family, the DCAD faculty and administration, and your fellow graduates, and all of those who have supported and encouraged you. And give them a big round of applause and an out loud thank you. Thank you. Now, before sitting down, you can sit down now, thank you. Before I sat down to put one word to paper, I spent many hours thinking about what it is I would say to you today. What would you want me to say to you today? What would you need me to say to you today? What is it that I could say that would bring some sort of fresh insights? I also thought about what I wanted to say and what I needed to say, and how I could get that done in 1,500 words or less. So here's how I began my first draft. I'd like to begin by welcoming each member of the Delaware College of Art and Design class of 2022 to membership in the Starving Artist Supper Club. And by supper, I mean 100 yummy ways to prepare ramen noodles. Okay, now that's how I began my first draft. But then after further consideration and discussion with my friends and folks much smarter than I am, I said to myself, Tina B, that's what I call myself, Tina B. If you don't believe that starving artist stuff, and if it's not how you've chosen to live your life, then why risk perpetuating the starving artist myth by mentioning it all, even jokingly? Okay, well, to quote the English author Douglas Adams, I just love deadlines. I love the whooshing noise they make as they pass me by. So I leaned over the speech should be done by now deadline to tweak it just a bit more. And by the way, so what do you do when you're trying to say, this is a myth, this isn't true? What you do is you go out and you collect data. And there's always a bunch of it out there. So I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to share some data with you. There was a 2011 study that said that they were very satisfied with their job and the creative opportunities it provided, notwithstanding the entry-level pay. On the other hand, however, the Gallup organization, in its 2013 State of the American Workplace report, found that 70% of American workers are not engaged or are actively disengaged and emotionally disconnected from their workplaces. And that's regardless of the field. Regardless of the field, the level of discontent holds true within a few percentage points. Only 36% of executives said that they were engaged in their work. 34% of physicians, 31% of teachers, 29% of sales workers, and a mere 24% of workers in manufacturing. Okay, so let's compare. On average, more than 70% of professional artists like their work, while 70% of executives, doctors, teachers, present company excluded, of course, I'm not talking about DCAD teachers, and other workers dislike theirs. Makes you think. Now, in addition to a traditional art-making career, creatives have a diversity of workplace options to choose from. Just consider how technology alone has increased employment opportunities for creatives in ways that we only could imagine just a mere 10 years ago. There's a treasure trove of data out there, information and support, discussion, positive opinion about the career path that you've chosen. And it also further validates your decision to pursue a DCAD degree. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir here. So I'll just say one last thing about that starving artist stuff. It's bunk. Don't buy it. So thank you for giving me a few minutes to vet just a little bit. It's really important to me. Now, I believe that all advice, when given in the spirit of being helpful, should be listened to. I mean, how else are we going to assess whether to use it, save it for further consideration sometime down the line, or to toss it into the thanks but no thanks category? So I'm going to share just 3 calls of action that I found useful, with hopes that you will also. Number 1, use the power of your art and your creative vision to transform. I was born and raised in Wilmington's Hilltop neighborhood. That's just a couple of miles from here. It was a working class community where most women worked as maids, housekeepers, cooks, and babysitters for private families. And most men did manual labor or worked as janitors. Now, although there was nothing fancy about our small row homes, by the way, they call those row homes townhouses now. Yeah. They were well kept. The front porches were regularly scrubbed, and the pavements and street gutters were kept free of litter. Even now, when I dream of home, I dream of 223 Delmer Place, the place where I spent my childhood. At the end of the street was an abandoned ice house. Now, how many of our graduates know what an ice house is? What? Okay, we have one. Okay. Did you grow up somewhere in the country, maybe? Or have family? Only Middletown, okay. Well, for the rest of you, okay, you don't have to listen to this. You can nod off while I explain this. An ice house was a place, it was a building that before most people had electric refrigerators in their house, there would be commercial ice house companies that would bring these big blocks of ice to these ice houses in communities. And then they would lift these big blocks of ice, or sometimes chip off pieces, and deliver them to homes. And in homes, there was an ice box. And the ice box had a section that was insulated, and so the ice would go into the ice box of this insulated thing, and it would keep your food cold. And then there was also a water pan underneath where the melting ice went, and you had to make sure it wasn't on a wooden floor because the wooden floor would rot out. It was a process. Okay. So that's what an ice house was in an ice box. Are you enlightened? Yeah, thank you. Oh, thank you. Somebody over here is enlightened too. Now, next to this old, abandoned, crumbling ice house was a vacant lot. And just like many vacant lots, it was littered with broken glass and other debris. And most people saw this vacant, littered, debris-filled place as an eyesore that was easier to ignore and just accept. It was what it was. What I saw was an opportunity to talk my friends into cleaning up the lot, stringing borrowed curtains across the front of the lot, and use the lot as a stage to present cabarets and comedy shows for 5 cents admission. Wow. We accepted IOUs also. Now, the Delmore Place summer shows, as we came to call them, became an annual tradition for many years. Not only was the lot made ready for our summertime productions, however, the block's adults took ownership and pride in furthering transforming the lot into a place where kids could play and gather all year round on that block. Now, fast forward about 6 decades. I don't want anybody doing the math, okay? But when the opportunity came about to transform another vacant lot on Wilmington's east side in one of the historic neighborhoods here in the city of Wilmington, I, along with a team of architects and community advocates, proposed the idea of converting this 1-acre lot that had municipal horse stables into artist art making and teaching studios. We call it the Urban Artist Exchange Neighborhood Revitalization Project. And that project has already seen the renovation of the 11 stables, and we're using them. And the construction of an outdoor amphitheater is underway and scheduled for completion this summer. When viewing the world through a creative lens, blank canvases are all around us. Number 2, embrace fearlessness. Now, fearlessness is not an absence of fear. It is being committed to something bigger than fear. Embracing fearlessness is, instead of denying our fears, affirming them, admitting them, saying them out loud. Now, the thing about fear is that it can come at us from so many different places. What if the grant application we submitted for that one-of-a-kind art project that we're so dedicated to is denied? Well, one of the best approaches to not allowing fear strangle our fearlessness is to step outside of our comfort zone. Be bold, take chances. It's okay if that art we created received negative criticism. Do the opening anyway, and don't let the fear strangle you that nobody's going to show up. In 1988, as President Dahlgren mentioned, I've been with the city through 3 tours as Director of Cultural Affairs. Now, in 1988, during the first of my 3 tours as Wilmington's Director of Cultural Affairs, a local promoter and I pitched the idea of producing a multi-day jazz festival in downtown Wilmington that we named Jazzin' on the Square. Now, the idea received go-ahead, was, a very soft go-ahead, because it was given on the condition that we raise corporate donations to match the city's investment. Now, I'll admit now that producing an outdoor music festival was way outside both my and the promoter's comfort zone. Fear of failure was omnipresent. Now, although we managed to reach our fundraising goal, what we heard most was that nobody would come to downtown Wilmington, sit outside in Rodney Square to listen to jazz. If we had let fear be the decision maker, what began as the first of its kind event in downtown Wilmington, attended by a few hundred people, and has now been called the largest free jazz festival on the East Coast, may never have happened. Jazzin' on the Square became the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival. And for 35 years, it has been attended by tens of thousands of people who travel to downtown Wilmington to sit in Rodney Square to listen to jazz. Stare fear down by stepping outside your comfort zone, learning from your possible failures and sometimes your failures, and most importantly, embracing fearlessness. Number 3, radiate self-confidence strengthened with a healthy dose of humility. The New Oxford Dictionary defines competence as a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. In other words, knowing and liking ourselves for who we are. Now, beware, because there's a thin line between self-confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is expecting that everybody else should like you for who you are. Humility is the ingredient that not only keeps us from crossing that line, but also strengthens our self-confidence. A dose of healthy humility gives us permission to admit our shortcomings and incentivizes us to overcome them. Humility opens our minds to learning best practices from others. Humility keeps us teachable, an attitude that supports continual self-correction and self-improvement. But another beware. Let's not confuse humility with having low self-esteem. Low self-esteem is only recognizing our flaws and weaknesses without acknowledging our strengths, abilities, and talents. Now, we all must overcome challenges whenever we embark on a new phase or chapter in our lives, which is where you are today. But what I hope you will depend on is your belief in the power of the art to transform and your commitment to making a difference. Your fearlessness to take on whatever twists and turns life's highways and byways throw in your way. And your self-confidence, strengthened with humility, to guide you on your life's journey. I wish you all the best, and God bless, and thank you again for allowing me to share today's honor with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. That was absolutely wonderful. Fantastic advice. Next, we would like to honor several graduates that have displayed exemplary performance during their time at DCAD. As our graduates cross the stage, you'll notice that some students are wearing gold cords, gold and silver cords. These identify students who have earned a cumulative GPA of 3.5 or higher. Purple cords identify students who have demonstrated leadership abilities on campus. As DCAD celebrates its 24th commencement, I couldn't be more pleased to present this graduating class here today. At this time, I would like to invite Mr. Justin Kozer, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, to join me for the highlight of our program, the awarding of the Associate of Fine Art degree to the class of 2022. I'd now like to call up Tad Sayre, Program Chair for Animation, who will present the Associate of Fine Art candidates in animation.
Are you ready? Vice Chairman Kozer, President Dahlgren, distinguished guests, I'm honored to present to you the candidates for the Associate of Fine Arts degree in animation. Will the animation candidates please rise and come forward as I call your name? Jalen Adderley. Persia Villa Smith. Daniela Ilyayeva. Xavier Jimenez. I'd like to acknowledge Tamaya Johnson, who I believe is on our online call looking. So, hello, Tamaya. Jonah King. Madison Miles. Adele Pedro. Adriana Peroto. Max Sartor. Tyler Stephen. Erica Tunstall. Congratulations to the candidates from the animation department.
I now call up Rachel Bomsey, Program Chair, who will present the Associate in Fine Art candidates for Fine Art.
Vice Chairman Poser, President Dahlgren, distinguished guests, I am honored to present to you the candidates for the Associate of Fine Arts degree in Fine Arts. Will the Fine Arts candidates please rise and come forward as I call your name? Kendall Batts. Aaron Chisholm. Samantha Deming in absentia. And Maya Smith. Congratulations to the candidates from the Fine Arts Department.
I now call up John Branke, Program Chair, who will present the Associate of Fine Art candidates for Graphic Design.
present to you the candidates for Associates of Fine Arts degree in Graphic Design. Will the graphic design candidates please rise and come forward as I call your name? Gwendolyn Cerniak. Rachel Clow. Congratulations, you two.
I now call up Melissa Fitzgerald, Program Chair, who will present the Associate in Fine Art candidates for illustration.
Vice Chairman Poser, President Dahlgren, distinguished guests, I am honored to present to you the candidates for the Associates of Fine Arts degree in illustration. Will the illustration candidates please rise and come forward as I call your name? All right. Erica Haas. Denise Kemp. Haley Locke. Haley Miles. Karen Plata. Darshay Robinson. Lucas Smith. Ashley Umbrecht. James Valentine. Madison Whitaker. Congratulations to the candidates from the illustration department.
I now call up Ron Brignac, Program Chair, who will present the Associate of Fine Art candidates in photography.
Vice Chairman Poser, President Dahlgren, distinguished guests. I'm honored to present to you the candidates for the Associate of Fine Arts degree in photography. This is really an amazing bunch, you guys. They're something. Will the photography candidates please rise and come forward as I call your name? Marjani Griggs. Nancy Horace Scher. In absentia, Shayla Johnson. Shauna O'Neill. Brianna Rastami. Congratulations to the candidates from the photography.
Mr. Vice Chairman, the candidates before you have completed all of the requirements of the Associate of Fine Arts degree. Upon the recommendation of the faculty, it is my privilege to ask that you, by your official act, confer this degree upon them.
Will all the candidates please stand? All right, in accordance with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the Delaware College of Art and Design, I hereby confer the Associate of Fine Arts degree upon the class of 2022, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. You may now pass your tassel from right to left. As Vice Chairman of the DCAD Board of Trustees, it is with great pleasure and pride that I congratulate the class of 2022 and the 24th class of the graduating class from the Delaware College of Art and Design. This year's graduates range in age from 18 to 53. They come from Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and of course Delaware. This year's graduates went to college during a worldwide pandemic. They learned to work, to think, to communicate, and to act in new ways with skills that make them fierce competitors in an expansive, creative market. Some of their achievements include collaborating with Riverside City College in California for the Iron Animators competition. Graphic design students created a logo for the Lucky Shot Coffee Company, and photography students learned to use studio equipment while on location for their clients, the Delaware Humane Association and the SPCA. They had fun together, staging exhibitions at the Little Gallery in 707, participating in open mic nights, taking tea breaks in the library. There were trips off campus as well, to the Brandywine Zoo to visit, and draw the porcupines, the red pandas, the lemurs, into the Brandywine River Art Museum to see the Wayne Thiebaud exhibit. Several ventured to New York early on a rainy Saturday to be inspired by the Metropolitan Museum of Art, MoMA, in Central Park. And finally, they supported DCAD by volunteering at open houses and the art loops. While they may not have had a typical DCAD experience, they made their mark here, and this community would not be as creative without them. Many of them will continue their education this fall, transferring to schools such as the University of the Arts, Maryland Institute College of Art, and Virginia Commonwealth University. Any institution will be richer for their contributions. Several plan to take their skills and refine them here up in the job market, which, as Mrs. Betts astutely pointed out, is hungry for their talent. Graduates, no matter what your next step is, I hope you realize just how well your time at DCAD has prepared you. Wherever you are headed, whatever you're to do next, I hope you remember fondly all that you've experienced here. Class of 2022, I wish you great luck and much success, and I encourage you to return to DCAD and return often. Congratulations. It is now my distinct honor to present an award to a graduating student whose kindness, caring, and compassion has notably benefited students, faculty, and staff alike during their years here at the Delaware College of Art and Design. Along with great thanks for outstanding contributions to the DCAD community, I'm pleased to present the 2022 Ann Edwards Benevolent Student Award to an illustration major, James Valentine. James, please come up to the stage. And James, in addition to this award, there is a $1,000 gift from an anonymous donor that's attached to it. And now it is my honor to present an award to an alumnus whose extraordinary achievement, outstanding character, and good citizenship has notably benefited the Delaware College of Art and Design. A 2013 graduate who majored in interior design, she is a Wilmington-based creative, lifestyle photographer, and influencer. Along with great thanks for her outstanding contributions to the DCAD community, I am pleased to present the 2022 Distinguished Alumni Award to Shakira Hunt.
Thank you, Justin. Class of 2022, you handled this difficult time with kindness, humor, and grace. You made art that reflected the world as it is and how we would like it to be. You've inspired everybody at DCAD, and we can't wait to see the amazing things that you're going to do next. On behalf of the DCAD Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the staff, I thank you for joining us in our celebration and for being part of this joyous event to acknowledge the achievements of our graduates, and we invite you to join us at DCAD for a reception after the ceremony. We now ask that the audience please allow the podium party to exit first, and this year's graduating class second, followed by the audience members third. I also want to take a moment to thank everyone who put the ceremony together, and especially Kevin Connect, our digital marketing. Will the audience please rise and once again congratulate our graduates. This concludes the 2022 Commencement exercises for the Delaware College of Art and Design.
So it's 4 generations of kings here. Right? 1, 2, 3. Well, of course, Joe is my side, but then that's